Hello everyone. Friday, the last of this week's reflections. We have focused the last few days on Moses, that inspirational figure that we read about in Exodus and Leviticus and Numbers and Deuteronomy, I might add, and his name appears all over the Bible. I regard Moses as the greatest leader in history, which is quite a statement. But when you consider what he had to do to bring this motley group of Israelites from Egypt to the Promised Land, you'll understand it was no easy task. An unruly, undisciplined crowd of people. And he managed it, although he himself did not get to the Promised Land. But the key moment was when they came out of Egypt. And we read in Hebrews chapter 11, that great passage on faith. By faith, Moses did not fear the anger of the king. And then we read, he persevered as seeing him who is invisible. Now remember, this was no ordinary king. This was the most powerful man on the planet, Pharaoh. There was none greater from a human point of view than Pharaoh. But Moses took him on. Why did he take him on? How could he possibly have done that? I mean, the power balance was so skewed in favor of Pharaoh, and yet Moses did it. And how did he do it? Because he persevered as seeing him who is invisible. Now, some will say that doesn't make sense. How can you see somebody who is invisible? Yeah, it's a good question. How do you see somebody who is invisible? Well, you have to embrace a view of the world and reality that recognizes that there is more to life and to the seen physical world than meets the eye, that there is a reality which we cannot see, which is nevertheless extremely real. And it was because Moses tapped into that unseen reality, who is God himself, that he was able to look at Pharaoh and say, Pharaoh, let my people go. And he persisted. He had encountered God at the burning bush, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the great I am who I am, or as some translate it, I will be who I will be. This is God's world, that Pharaoh was not in command. And though he passed through times of extreme challenge, difficulty, and stress, he persevered, we read, as seeing him who is invisible. I've taken an interest in Sir Ernest Shackleton and that marathon trip that they took down into the Antarctic, and how they got lost there, the boat they were on sank, and how they had to fight their way against impossible odds, going from iceberg to iceberg, from island to island, and making an utterly impossible boat trip in a small little boat across the most treacherous ocean in the world to South Georgia Island. And then landing on the southern side of South Georgia Island, they had to climb over mountain ranges that had never been climbed before in the most extreme of weathers. And as they approached their destination, so Shackleton and the two men who were with him, Worsley and Crean, said, you know what? There were more than three of us. There were, in fact, four of us. And I guess if you'd been somebody standing there, you would only have seen three, but they knew there was a fourth. Those men persevered as seeing him who is invisible. What was true of Moses, what was true for Shackleton, Worsley and Crean, is true for us today. May him, or him who is invisible, be our strength and our inspiration as we take our lives forward. It's great to have been with you this week here in Fernkloof. Make a point of visiting this wonderful, wonderful place. God be with you.